Something has disturbed the entire forest, and every animal has noticed it.
One of the forest's greatest predators believes it has found an easy meal, but it has already become part of someone else's plan. Somehow, before the wolf even arrived, someone had already stolen the best reward. It is neither the strongest nor the fastest, yet few animals understand the wilderness better than the raven. Unlike every hunter below, the raven does not need to chase. It only needs to watch what is about to happen. The raven is not following the wolves. It is following opportunity. Patience is the raven's greatest weapon. It never wastes energy fighting for food that others will win for it. Soon others arrive. Somehow they all know exactly where the feast will be, and exactly when to wait. A single mistake would mean death. The raven survives because it understands exactly how close is too close. Only when the danger has truly passed does the raven make its move. But the raven is already thinking beyond today's meal. Every successful survivor plans for tomorrow. For the raven, hiding food is easy. Keeping the secret is far more difficult. The greatest danger is not always a wolf. Sometimes it is another raven. Instead of revealing the real hiding place, the raven performs a convincing illusion. The observer has been deceived. But the real secret has not yet been revealed. Only after every witness has gone does the raven reveal where it truly intends to hide its future. Weeks have passed. Snow has erased almost every visible landmark, but not the raven's memory. Without searching, without hesitation, it returns to the exact place it remembered. Memory has become one of the raven's greatest survival tools, allowing it to prepare today for the uncertainty of tomorrow. But remembering the past is only part of the story. This remarkable bird is about to demonstrate another ability once thought unique to humans. This challenge cannot be solved with strength, only with intelligence. Then, almost casually, the solution appears. The reward is not simply food. It is proof that the raven can understand an unfamiliar challenge and solve it. But perhaps the first challenge was never meant to stop the raven. It was only preparing it for something much more difficult. Instead of rushing forward, the raven pauses. Sometimes the smartest decision is to think before acting. Each successful step changes what comes next. The raven is adapting its actions as the problem unfolds. The experiment ends, the lesson does not. Intelligence is measured not by chance, but by consistent problem solving. The next challenge requires no laboratory. Out here, the forest provides every test it needs. Hidden beyond the reach of its beak lies another puzzle, one that can only be solved with the right tool. The food is close enough to smell, yet impossible to reach without another solution. When the first attempt fails, the raven changes the tool instead of abandoning the task. The difference was not strength. It was choosing the right tool for the problem. Not every stick is useful. The raven chooses carefully, selecting the one best suited for the task ahead. The forest has changed. In a single shadow, the hunter has arrived. The raven knows something many prey animals never learn. The safest escape is not always the fastest one. It is not escaping blindly. Every movement uses the forest itself as protection. The eagle possesses greater speed and strength. The raven survives by choosing terrain where those advantages disappear.
For the raven, survival is not about winning every confrontation. It is about avoiding the ones that never needed to happen.
Some meals are found. Others are persuaded to change owners. The fox believes it has secured a meal. The raven is already searching for an opportunity. Sometimes a single sound is enough to interrupt another animal's concentration. The opportunity lasts only a heartbeat.
Speed alone did not win this meal. Timing did.
One clever raven can outwit a fox, but together, ravens can challenge predators far larger than themselves.
The raven is rarely alone for long. Across the valley, others have already heard the call.
Every eye notices the same danger. No signal is visible, yet the entire flock reacts together.
One raven would be vulnerable. Together, they become impossible to ignore.
The ravens never overpower the eagle. They simply refuse to let it hunt in peace.
The eagle is gone, but another visitor has entered the forest, one the raven will remember for years to come. Not every visitor enters the forest as a predator, but the raven watches them all with equal attention. Instead of remembering only danger, the raven appears.
Time passes. The forest changes. Yet some memories remain remarkably clear.
Knowledge does not always remain with one bird. Information can spread through the flock. Every unfamiliar face brings the same response. Observation allows the raven to distinguish one experience from another. For the raven, every encounter becomes another piece of knowledge guiding future decisions. From high above, the raven sees more than the present moment. Every journey adds another chapter to a lifetime of experience. Experience is earned one season at a time, and every new generation begins with the lessons of those that survived before. Another hunt is about to begin, and another lesson is waiting beyond the horizon. Not every flight has a destination. Sometimes the raven simply rides the wind.
Scientists have observed ravens repeating aerial maneuvers with no obvious survival purpose, suggesting they may simply enjoy the experience.
On snowy hillsides, ravens have been seen sliding downhill again and again, then climbing back to do it once more.
Play is rare in the animal kingdom, yet among ravens, it appears again and again.
Even in moments of play, the wilderness never stops changing. Another chapter is waiting beyond the night. Curiosity is one of the raven's greatest teachers. Every unfamiliar object is worth investigating. Young ravens spend countless hours exploring their surroundings. Through play, they begin to understand how the world responds. Sometimes the lesson is not about finding food. It is about learning how objects move, change, and behave. No classroom exists in the wilderness. Experience is passed on through observation, curiosity, and time. In the mountains, intelligence is not only about solving problems, it is also about recognizing change before it reaches you. Predators are not always made of flesh and blood. Sometimes winter itself becomes the greatest challenge. Survival is not always about movement. Sometimes the wisest choice is simply to conserve energy. Preparation made during easier days now becomes the difference between hunger and survival. In harsh winters, every successful bird becomes part of the survival story of the next generation. The storm has passed, the wilderness is moving again, and another opportunity is about to unfold. The raven does not join the hunt. It watches the landscape,
waiting for the moment when patience becomes opportunity. From above, the raven sees patterns impossible to recognize from the ground.
The raven never wastes energy competing with predators. It waits until the outcome is certain.
Knowing when not to act has guided the raven safely through another. The wolves have gone, but the wilderness is never empty for long. Nothing in the wilderness is wasted. What one predator leaves behind becomes life for many others. As night approaches, the solitary observer returns to the company of its own kind.
Each raven carries its own experiences. Together, they share the same landscape, season after season. Another day begins. Another cycle of watching, waiting, and surviving unfolds across the wilderness. The journey has brought us back to where it began. But we no longer see this bird in the same way. Every choice, every observation, and every lesson has shaped the life of this remarkable survivor.
Its greatest strength has never been power. It has always been understanding the world around it.
When this story began, we thought we were watching a raven. In truth, we were watching the wilderness through the eyes of one of its greatest observers.
Every morning, the wilderness begins again. The raven simply learns to read its rhythm.
The forest never keeps yesterday's footprints for long. Every new day asks every creature to begin again.
Observation, patience, memory, curiosity. Every season added another lesson. Each raven follows its own path. Yet together, they remain part of the same living landscape. It never ruled the wilderness through strength. It mastered it by understanding. To survive is remarkable. To understand an entire landscape is something far rarer. As winter gives way to spring, survival is no longer the only story. It is time to begin the next generation. For ravens, strong partnerships are built through trust, patience, and seasons spent together. Choosing the right place to build a home may determine the future of every chick that follows. Every branch is chosen carefully. Every layer high above the forest floor, a safe beginning has been prepared for the next chapter of life. Soon, 4 fragile lives will depend entirely on the wisdom of their parents.
For nearly 3 weeks, patience becomes the greatest act of survival.
Each tiny heartbeat carries the legacy of countless generations before it.
Every meal is an investment in the future. Every journey the parents make keeps the next generation alive.
Curiosity appears almost as quickly as feathers. Every new day becomes another lesson waiting to be discovered. Curiosity appears almost as quickly as feathers. Every new day becomes another lesson waiting to be discovered.
No lesson is spoken. Every movement becomes an example. The forest teaches through experience. The parents simply reveal where to begin looking. Some discoveries are remembered far longer when made by the young bird itself. The most important lessons are learned in moments when hesitation could be fatal. For the first time, the discovery belongs entirely to the young raven. Preparation begins with a single instinct, strengthened through experience. Some lessons are remembered because they were learned at exactly the right moment. The day eventually comes when guidance quietly becomes trust.
The story has not ended. Another observer now watches the wilderness. And another lifetime of lessons is about to begin.
The story has not ended. Another observer now watches the wilderness. And another lifetime of lessons is about to begin. The wilderness has not changed. Only the eyes that now watch over it. The wilderness has not changed. Only the eyes that now watch over it. Every experience now becomes an investment in the seasons still to come. The greatest lessons are remembered not because they were taught, but because they once meant survival. Every journey changes the one who makes it. The wilderness is no longer a mystery. It has become home. One generation quietly steps back as another takes its place. The wisdom of the wilderness is never owned by one life. It is carried forward, generation after generation. Every ending in nature is simply the beginning of another story.